Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining us once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of the Friday Night Panel. Once again, it's Mike, myself, Graham, joining you to discuss just a few things. One, the upcoming bouts and all the things that have been said within the boxing community this past week. Not only the Terence Crawford debacle, but the various, they're comical things that have been said in the world of the heavyweight division. To me, anyway, I was reading off the news items this morning because I had come across the Tony Yoka fight that had finally become a thing. And then I was just looking through the heavyweight comments that are being made back and forth, starting with Larry Holmes calling out Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua as being pretty unskilled in his opinion. Mind-blowing stuff, quite frankly. But I couldn't believe the chatter, and the more I went down this rabbit hole, the funnier it got, quite frankly. Anyway, before I digress into the world of the heavyweight division and what these guys are saying about each other, what do you have to say, Mike?
What do I have to say? Lots.
All right.
Yeah. Not really lots. Honestly, guys out there, yes, boxing fans, there is an event tomorrow. Not really too much going on tonight in the world of boxing, but tomorrow we do have a great card for you. The Smith Jr. versus Gefford. January 15th, 10 p.m. on Fight TV. WBO light heavyweight world champion Joe Smith Jr. will make his first title defense against an unlikely contender. British puncher Callum Johnson tested positive for COVID-19.
Right.
So Smith will now face Stephen Gefford on Saturday, January 15th at Turning Stone Resort and Casino, live on ESPN. Guys, this is going to be a great fight. In the 10-round co-feature, featherweight contender Abraham Nova. Guys, I've already mentioned this guy before. 20-0, 14 KOs. Who was originally slated to fight Jose Enrique Vivas will fight Dominican veteran El Gego Encarnacion, who is 19-1 with 15 KOs after Vivas dropped out with an injury. Yes, guys, you might not think that this card is going to be super exciting, but the co-main event, Abraham Nova, watch out for this kid, man. If you guys don't remember who he is El Super, 28-year-old. This guy, he's ranked 34th out of 1,401 people in the world in the super feather division. He's 5'9" with a 72-inch reach and managed by David McWater. We've gone over this guy before. Yeah. So, this is going to be an exciting card, even if you don't know who was on it. Guys, most of the guys that I've been talking about throughout the year are actually on this card. Also, Jahai Tucker, Troy Isley, and Omar Rosario are all in action on this card. Jahai Tucker, 5-0, looking to stay undefeated. Troy Isley, we've talked about him before, guys. 3-0, looking to stay undefeated. And Omar Rosario, still 5-0, waiting to move up to the next one, man, and stay undefeated with another, sixth win. So, even though there's not much going on, guys, this is an exciting card. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. I can't wait, man. I'm super excited. That's 10 p.m., man, Eastern time. Guys, go and check it out tomorrow. Don't forget to watch. I know I'll be watching for sure from the comfort of my home because it's going to be damn cold tomorrow, so I'm not going anywhere but sitting at home and watching boxing. Other than that, yes, the heavyweights. And shout out to our friends from Last Bell Boxing. Good evening. How are you? From Canada to the UK, what's going on? Graham, the heavyweight division. A lot of crap talking going on, eh?
Do you want me to, one of the funny headlines, it comes out of a pretty reputable online news magazine, but listen to this headline. Tyson Fury calls out Francis Ngannou to a boxing match with MMA gloves.
Hey, 4-ounce gloves.
Hey, so isn't that crazy?
4-ounce gloves. It's going to happen. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be great.
Well, interestingly enough, Tyson Fury is supposed to be going against Dillian White, But
Yes.
Eddie Hearn keeps on demanding more money right now. I think it was the WBA who said it's going to be an 80-20 split, and that's more than fair given that Dillian White, I think his last fight, he got himself $300,000 paycheck, whereas Tyson Fury made $20 million. Given his pay-per-view numbers against Deontay Wilder. Anyway, so the numbers seem to be fair at 80-20, but Eddie Hearn says, no, that's not fair. We want a better split. So that Dillian White contest has not yet been confirmed. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Otto Wallen a while back said, hey, man, I'm ready to step in. So, the headlines are insane when it comes to the heavyweight. We were joking last year. I mean, which is only a month ago, but we were joking last year about unclogging the heavyweights. But if you listen to the chit chat that's going on right now, which is to me is incredibly comical. I mean, it's like a soap opera of well, legendary proportions, I would say, because I can't believe what I'm hearing. We're reading, and it is really, really funny. It is funny. What
Yeah.
about you? Have you seen any of these headlines recently? I mean,
Honestly, I'm loving the Larry Holmes. I'm loving Larry
oh,
Holmes right now. Claims that today's heavyweight boxers have no skills. Uh, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua's boxing ability slammed really hard by Larry Holmes, man, saying that Fury and Anthony Joshua lack the skill of Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. So, there's there's a lot of stuff going on, and apparently, Larry Holmes and Merciless Ray Mercer and attend Smitty's boxing gym fundraiser a couple days back, and these two big guests are just not happy with the heavyweights at this point in time in the boxing, which we haven't all been happy with the heavyweights really. So, he's only speaking the truth, really. He's speaking the truth a little bit. He's not happy. We haven't been happy, but yeah, there's a lot going on. Tyson Fury is another one who's just shouting his mouth off from day to day. Guys, you gotta see in the headlines what these guys talk about.
yeah,
So
it is incredible. It's a rabbit
it's
hole. You
yeah.
name the fighter, and he has said something outlandish this week. I guarantee it. Um, I, I mean, let's try and find a really good example. Let me have a quick little look here and see these. I'm not kidding. I was my proverbial socks were knocked off this morning. Okay, I mean, remember, I went down the very serious road of reporting on the Tony Yoka Filip Hrgovic fight. Okay, then I came across the Klitschko comments, Vitaly Klitschko, who was pretty upset, saying, Tyson Fury's on steroids, blah blah blah, and then you got Frank Warren shouting his mouth off, saying, Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois are in line for the heavyweight title, so that's all fine. He can say whatever he wants, but it's who's that guy I'm thinking of who came out of the blue? Oh, Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora comes out and says, not only is Anthony Joshua gonna, out of the blue defeat Usyk, but then he's gonna go on and beat Fury. Like, what the heck? Like, what's Derek Chisora talking about? Like, okay, let's say, okay, Anthony Joshua might win. That was the other headline too. Something like Anthony Joshua is set to confirm his trainer. Like, holy crap. He's set to go against Usyk, what, in April, which is a couple months away, and he's still looking for a trainer. Now, I know he's been training with various people, whether it be in Dubai, whether it be over in Floyd Mayweather's camp. So he's been training, but I don't know. Like, if I was Eddie Hearn, who manages Anthony Joshua, why the heck is it taking so long to find a qualified trainer? I mean, I'm pretty sure if Tim Witherspoon doesn't want the job, he doesn't want to be in the corner. He doesn't mind advising these guys. Right. But I'm pretty sure if Tim Witherspoon were here on this channel with us right now, as he said many times before, there's no shortage of qualified trainers out there.
There's not.
So
There's
so
not.
what the heck is Anthony Joshua playing around at? I mean,
Right.
who the heck is he going to name? Like, what is this big name that he's going to announce? Sugar Hill?
Yeah.
I mean, who the heck? Like, who
Yeah,
the heck?
probably.
You know, who the heck?
Yeah.
Oh my
My
gosh.
my favorite has definitely been Tyson's Fury's latest Anthony Joshua's rant,
Oh,
calling him what was it? Um, he says in quotations, "I can't believe AJ has given Ukraine all the heavyweight belts back after all my hard work."
the it gets not that you haven't seen it. I'm sure
Reliving
you've
them.
seen this one too.
Yeah, useless
That's
dozer.
did you see the other social media taunting or whatever it's called, trolling,
Oh.
where Tyson Fury goes, "Hey man, I was drinking 17 pints a day sparring with guys better than you, Joshua." You're like, what?
or you've let a little steroid man come up from the middleweight and set about you and take all your belts. Oh, how dare you!
Oh man, it's classic. There's a great I think it's either on Instagram or Twitter. I can't remember where I saw it. But it's a great like it's a picture of three boxes. The two boxes on the outside are trim, fit and fight, ready. They're in good form. Okay, in the middle, a very rotund Tyson Fury, but it's basically guess who won. And so as a matter of fact, that great Canadian boxer Lennox Lewis came out and commented. So it must have been a Twitter post. If our producer's online and he's got that Twitter post, it is absolutely hilarious. Um, and anyway, I'm just saying, like, Tyson Fury is really stirring up the pot. He really doesn't care. I'm pretty sure he might have one, maybe two fights at most left in him realistically, and he's going to retire, a happy camper, and go off
Yeah.
and lie in the sun with his wife and kids and have a great old time. He's made enough money. I mean, it seems to me he's having fun with it, and he truly is having fun with it. Whereas all these other guys are saying, "Give me my shot, give me my shot, give me my shot," and those guys who have been given the shot are sitting at the bottom of the totem pole right now. I want to. What's it? It's almost like Rocky, the movie. That is,
hey. I think that was the downfall to Anthony Joshua losing all those belts. Man, was coming out to that stupid Rocky song.
you have said that before. That's right. That's right.
I love this one. I love the like Tyson Fury. He's got so many of these awesome little things that he says. One of them was, "There's only ever been one man on these shores, and he's called the Gypsy King, aka Tyson Fury." Like, War not also has a contract with Joshua's management label, who are guiding him into the next stages of losing his career after losing to Joseph Parker.
Right. So the funny thing is, and I'm sure our British. That's one. That's one. Oh, wow, that's a pretty good one.
Oh wow.
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
What was it? I remember one night I had 14 pints of Foster's and then sparred 3 top heavyweights and battered them all.
Battered them all.
Look at that picture. Like, isn't that wonderful? That's our heavyweight champ right now. The WBC
That's
heavyweight
great.
champion of the world.
There is another one out there, and Lennox Lewis commented on it because it's an LOL type comment because he can't believe that was close. That might be it. No, that guy on the right's not the guy I'm talking about. But there, that might be it. This is the one. So it somewhere along the lines, Lennox Lewis comments on this, explaining the current heavyweight division of non-boxing people as a real treat. So yeah, the guy in the middle beat the other two, and I mean, look at that! Isn't that great?
That's a wonderful picture, isn't it? Isn't that a great?
That is absolutely classic.
Honestly, somebody needs to turn this one into a poster. like literally, let's blow this one up, turn this one into a poster, folks. Tell me you would want to see that. You'd buy one. I know you'd buy one because it, that's a
Truly
great
classic. I mean,
poster. That's good.
so my point is Tyson Fury. Okay, my opinion of the guy has completely changed. It's flipped. I admit it. I didn't like what he was saying before the Deontay Wilder fights, but now it's obvious to me he is truly having fun, and he's having fun with people who are trying to make fun of him,
Yes,
and he's basically saying, yeah, but who's the champ?
exactly.
You
Exactly.
know,
You know what?
and so
He,
I can have as many pints as I want, and I'm still going to beat you. You know, classic
Uh,
stuff.
yeah,
Classic
yeah. You know
stuff.
what? Hey, at least the heavyweight division is starting to unclog. Um, we have some great new fighters coming up in the heavyweight division, which is wonderful. Um, I'm happy to say that I've watched one of our prospects, Jared Big Baby Anderson, go
Oh,
from
really?
prospect to not only contender now, but title contender. Like
Ah, as
he's
he should be.
as he should be, man. There's a lot of things going on. Um, one of the funny things that I heard had to be the Hellenius.
Right.
Uh, yeah, this that was hilarious. Saying that he would knock out Tyson Fury.
Right.
You hear this one?
Yep. I read that off in the news today earlier. That's that's
Yes.
that's another funny. Well, not funny, but I mean, I don't mind. Like for example, here's a headline out of Sky Sports because I'm sure the Brits will like this. Fraser Clark can emulate Joe Joyce's fast heavyweight rise, says promoter Ben Shalom. Fraser Clark will move as quickly as Joe Joyce to reach world heavyweight title within 3 years. Okay, yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Hellenius. Right now, we are waiting for a formal response from the WBA. This is my first priority, Hellenius told Sky Sports. My lawyer has notified the WBA in writing. I've paid sanctioning fees, and there is no more deserving contender to fight Usyk in the WBA than me. I fully expect to be officially named the mandatory.
Wow.
Really? Really? That's some big that's some big words coming in there. That's some big words in
Oh
there.
man, let's. I'm not. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go over to Box Rack and see who the top 10 heavyweights are, just for fun.
Oh yes, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Just for fun in the heavyweight division.
Well, our top ten. Okay, we'll start it off. Starting at the bottom.
Holy cow!
Luis
Okay.
Ortiz.
Wow.
Luis
Okay.
Ortiz is at the bottom, right?
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
our top, Alexander Usyk, then Tyson Fury, then Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Dylan White, Joseph Parkett, Derek Chisora, Michael Hunter, Murat Gassiv, and Luis Ortiz.
Right. So take a look at
And
the
then
next. Take a look at the next
yeah,
10.
yeah. Then you look at the next three: Joe Joyce, Andy Ruiz, Fury, Little
Fury,
Fury,
Fury.
Huey Fury, and then Frank Sanchez.
Not bad. Ajit
Yeah,
Kabayel.
yeah.
Otto
Ajit
Waller, he's at
Kabayel,
16.
Otto Wallen, Charles Martin,
Charles Martin's
Robert
on his way
Hellenius,
down. Robert
and then
Hellenius.
Martin Backel. Yep. Listen, Carl, I know you've been asking me to profile him. Bear with me. We're gonna get to it next week.
Yeah.
Martin Backel. We'll be talking
But we
about
were
this
talking. We
guy
were talking
next
about
week.
it. We were talking. This is a classic case of a clogged heavyweight division. Take a look at this. Okay,
And then
we got
Tony
we
Yoka
got
to
the
round out the
Martin.
top 20.
Tony Yoka is 20, right?
Yeah.
But then you got Adam Kownacki, Daniel Dubois, Carlos Takam, Efe Ajabe,
FA.
who, right?
Yeah.
So the top 25 is insane, and these guys are anyway. As I said, going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boring without Tyson. Absolutely, that's what we're saying. I mean, he is making. You know, I mean, some of these guys can say, "Hey, I deserve to be there. I deserve to be there." But at the end of the day, Tyson's just coming back to them saying, "But I'm here."
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I give it to him,
Bartender,
man.
another round.
He's stopped everybody. He's stopped everybody that they put in front of him. And you know what? By all means, let him speak his mind, because you know what? Nobody can shut him up. You know, the only way to stop Tyson Fury is beat him in the ring. That's the only way you're going to stop his mouth from running. But you know what? As long as it's running, it's making for great entertainment. It's keeping us entertained. I'll tell you that much. With the things that he says and the things that he posts on Twitter, man. Yes, without Tyson, the heavyweight division would be boring as hell.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's close out this segment with a few quick comments on Terence Crawford, because not only is that entertaining, but it's actually quite serious. His comments about the racial bias is one thing, but then there's all sorts of media reports now surfacing quite publicly as to who Bob Arum has him. If you take a quick Google as to who's representing him,
Yeah.
it's a lawyer out of now located in Dubai. I forget his name, but anyway, has shall we say uh, underworld dealings in the past. And Barbara
Yes.
Arum saying, "Hey man, I don't care what he's done in the past. He's a good guy. He's an honest guy, and I like him." And out of that comes another link to MTK Global's co-founders and his underworld dealings. So it's like, this is not good for boxing, quite frankly. That's what I'm saying. So regardless of the lawsuit, regardless of the outcome, which is all about money, to be blunt,
It
uh,
is.
you
It
know,
is, and the numbers that he's looking for are big. It's not small money. We're talking in the tens of millions of dollars. This lawsuit is,
10
and
million.
it's 10 million. But no, but he's also looking. He's also looking for reimbursement for training fees as well. So it's not just 10. It's there's more to it than that, and it's all about this. If it wasn't for his racially biased opinion, uh, it held me back. He favored whites and Latinos, and all.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot going on there. It's kind of messy. It's hurting. I think it's hurting the sport of boxing. To be
Oh,
honest,
absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
it's
It,
it's not.
it's
Yeah, it's
dirty.
not.
It's nasty. Yeah, it's hurting us. It's not good for your average casual fan who's reading those kinds of headlines. It's not good. You've got race on one hand, and we're going through this whole Black Lives Matter thing, and all of a sudden, boom, this comes out, and that's legit. And then you've got the whole underworld component still tied to boxing, which we thought had been cleansed from boxing.
Right.
And I'm sure, and I'm going to put my money behind Eddie Hearn on this one, and I really thought he had done a good job of presenting himself as clean and and levels above these other fellas who've like I'm sorry, I can't. A convicted criminal, Don King, is back in the business, just for example. you know so I mean, this is not good for boxing. Those types of guys, I'm not saying they should not be allowed. It's a competitive capitalist environment. Anyone can do anything they want, really.
Right.
But it's not. And all I'm saying is, from a media perspective, it's not good for boxing. This lawsuit's not good for boxing. What's being said is not good for boxing. And for us to ignore it, potentially we should ignore it. But can we ignore it? The answer is no. Does Terence Crawford have a point? I don't think. You know what? At the end of the day, some 90-year-old man probably says a whole bunch of stuff because he's 90 years old.
a
Okay,
90-year old man's filter is very, very turned on low.
right. So
Let's
that's one thing to consider going forward. Okay,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, he may be old school. There's black people and there's white people, and that's just simply racist, because we're all human beings. At the end of the day, we all bleed red, and at the end of the day, uh, you know. But what he is he's a promoter, and he's driven by money. That's what he's driven by. He's driven by money. So there's no way in the world he would prevent a fight from happening if he knew he was going to make a buck. So
And this is why this is see where Crawford is saying that his racial the racism that's coming out and how Bob Arum's a racist. This is what has hindered his career. What's held back from us seeing Crawford Earl Spence. Let's be real, man. Terence Crawford is one of the top pound for pound boxers of the past 5 years.
yeah,
In the ring, he is dominant. However, though, let's be real. Crawford's dry personality and boring fighting style doesn't make for exciting events. So Crawford is a name only hardcore fight fans really know. Despite Crawford's obvious flaws um, as a box office draw, he's blaming and suing Bob Arum over it being, a racial thing, when really it's just not. It's not a viable income. It's not anything that's going to make a ton of dough, because let's be real, Crawford isn't that exciting fighter that a lot
And,
of people are looking for. It's not the
and
box office draw.
and you know what you just reminded me of, and this is where the women who are boxing have a good strong foothold. They have been trained how to talk. They know how to talk. They're entertaining when they talk. They say great things. They say the right things. A fellow like Terence Crawford does not. And it makes and you and I have interviewed lots of boxers over the past year and a bit, and some are really well spoken and some are not. Terence Crawford, sadly, is not well spoken, and
No.
and Bob Arum, not it's being I guess it's being defensive, but in his defense, he's saying Terence Crawford isn't exactly the most uh, sharpest knife in the drawer. Um, at the end of the day, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But is he a good fighter? Yeah, I think he's 39-0. So
Yeah.
he's got a great record. He's a great pound for pound fighter. Is he a good draw? Maybe if that fight had have happened between him and Errol Spence, will it happen now? I kind of doubt it. I mean,
Right.
who's going to touch Terence Crawford now?
Right.
Really? I'd be
Like, with as Aram continues to make the racist and bigoted statements, and purposely damage. This is the stuff that Crawford is saying, is that the things that he's saying have purposely damaged the reputations of black boxers without any consequences. This is generally because the effective boxers who are in long-term contracts with Top Rank fear that if they do say anything, they'll be placed on the sidelines and not given that opportunity to fight during their deal, which could be a 5 to 7 year deal. What was it in Crawford's contract was, 2 fights a year, I believe, was something like that, and
yep,
and
yep,
you know, but let's be real, as a promoter, it's a money game.
yeah.
So what, I signed you to 2 fights a year. If you're not bringing in the money and you're not worth the promoting the fight, then you know what? Yeah, you are going to sit on the sideline.
Well, no, 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 no. That's not how it would work. How it would
That's how
work
I
is
would make it.
no. I'll give you 2 fights per the contract. It's like the music industry. If some guy if a band gets signed to 5 albums and they're just doing crap, they're not touring, they're not speaking to the press, they're not doing anything. Okay, we'll honor the obligation of producing 5 albums for you, but we're not going to promote them.
Right.
And there's a big difference. So in Terence Crawford's world, really, Bob Arum certainly could have given him 2 fights a year, and I think the only time he didn't it was during the last year during the pandemic, when shit was happening.
Yeah.
So I think there's one fight that was scheduled that just didn't happen, and I think that was okay. Sure, he might be owed some money because he wasn't able to fight, and then he's saying I'm owed even more money because there aren't going to be people in the actual stands. Therefore, I want that money now up front. Bob Arum's saying, wait a sec, that's not how it works, kid. And these guys have had a 10-year relationship, by the way. So it's not like these guys are new to the game. So I guess this has been boiling up and now it's boiled over. But all I'm saying is what is coming out in the media is bad for boxing.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
It is. It's bad. It's bad for boxing. Honestly and truthfully, you know, Terence Crawford built a niche brand about fighting for his hometown, where most of his fighters took place. Not exactly the fight capital of the world. And Aram adds that, and he said that he's lost 20 million promoting Crawford. And you know, Crawford 38-0, 29 KOs. That's kind of hard to believe. I don't believe though that Crawford's lawsuit is very strong. Uh, I can't wait to see the outcome of this, but it's not a good outcome for boxing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's
If
not
I
good for the sport.
okay, here's my last word. If I were a judge and I was saying, okay, let's have a look at some of what the other boxers in the world make. Oh wow, this guy made $300,000. And you, Mr. Crawford, made 4.5 million on your last fight. I'd say you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
And what I've been saying in my social media posts, by the way, is that if Terence Crawford is so upset, why doesn't he just launch with all those millions he's made? He's admitted that he's made, because they're in his lawsuit. I made 4.5 million this fight, 4.5 million this fight, plus all my training, my living expenses were paid for, by the way. I admit all
Yeah.
that. What the heck has the guy done? So three fights, yes, he's missed one, so he's owed 4.5 million for sure. So he's made, roughly speaking, $15 million cash. Maybe the taxman takes a third of that. He's made 10 million bucks. What's he done? Bought a freaking mansion in Malibu? What I've said in my social media posts is, if Terence Crawford were so smart, he should, with that $10 million, invest it in a management company, become a promoter himself, and go toe to toe against Bob Arum and Top Rank. If he's that adamant that Top Rank are such a badass company and they treat their boxers unfairly, which I find hard to believe, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of testimonials that are going to be put forward in Bob Arum's favor, despite what you may think of a 90-year-old man who's tending to be, my guess, a little
He's
off.
mobbed up. He's
Well,
mobbed up. He
he
was
is
mobbed
Don
up back in
King.
the day. He's got the backing. The man is 90 years old. He's one of these guys in the game that's you know grandfathered in kind of thing. He's
Yeah,
he's he's there. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to come to bat for this guy, and honestly, there's going to be a lot of testimony that's going to come out that's going to hurt this case for Crawford. I believe it, and it's this lawsuit. I don't see really going anywhere, and the more crap that goes on with it, it's just the worse it's doing for
I know.
boxing.
I know. I was kind of on my last comment, but this is a good
Yeah,
conversation because I just had another thought. The fella, I forget his name, the fella who was vice president over at Golden Boy, when Oscar De La Hoya got in a bit of financial trouble with his wife, and his wife was pretty well going to take everything. This fellow
yeah,
left Golden Boy and created Pro Bellum.
yeah.
Pro Bellum has proven that there's an opportunity on a worldwide basis. If you invest your money properly, you can not only sign a great roster of talent, but you can begin to establish strategic relationships with companies around the world to put on great fights and have those fights streamed. So there's lots of ways to make money. There's lots of opportunity in this boxing world for sure. And I think someone like Terence Crawford shouldn't be crying about how much money he's owed or whatever. But let's see where he's invested his money. Has he gone out and bought a Rolex, a fancy car, a big house in Malibu, or he's actually invested his money wisely on the sport of boxing that he loves so much? I'm curious.
I'm curious too. You know what? At the end of the day, if Crawford wasn't happy and saying that his contract wasn't fulfilled, hey, listen, you didn't get your 2 fights a year, so what? You fought once a year, but it was a worldwide pandemic. Like, you know, if you weren't happy, you should have, as a champion wearing a belt, and somebody who is not the most who lacks luster in the department of exciting fighter. Uh, you should have quietly just left. I'm pretty sure one of these new promotional companies that have just popped up out of nowhere that are gaining huge ground would have definitely paid you the money you're looking for. You easily could have just walked away from Top Rank, tipped your hat, said thank you for this. I want out of my contract. I'm going somewhere else. Shopped around. You know what? Shopping around. Hey, maybe you get picked up by MVP. Maybe maybe you get picked up by MVP. Jake Paul's looking to sign new people too. Pro Bellum could have picked him up. Maybe Eddie Hearn has
Boxer, boxer
or
with two
Box.
X's over in the
You know,
UK,
exactly. Boxer. Wasserman. There's all these different
over in
promotional
Germany.
companies. Exactly. Salida, Samson. There's all these new promotional companies that would have easily loved to sign somebody like Terence Crawford. That's a big name to add to your stable if you're one of these new companies.
Absolutely. Take a look at, and the name that comes to mind is Sam Kynock, doing great things out of, I believe, out of Glasgow, Scotland, picking up
Yes.
boxers left, right, and center. Really good boxers, training them well, putting them into good fights. I'm sure someone like to your point, I'm sure someone like that would love to have Terence Crawford. Why? Because I'm thinking, and I'm just guessing that the streaming rights for the Sean Porter fight were pretty good.
Yeah.
You and I would be very happy to have that kind of money, I'm sure.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
you know, So I'm sure someone like, whether it's Wasserman, whether it's Boxer, whether it's Sam Kynock, all these new guys who are building the rosters. I mean, every day on the new and even you on Knuckle Up are announcing who's being signed to who. As a matter of fact, your entire week has been about amateur boxers who have signed deals to go pro. If I'm not mistaken, I mean
Yes.
that's what your whole. I mean, and I think you're continuing that next week.
Yes.
So to say that there's no opportunity in boxing is ridiculous. And the reason these guys are getting signed is because they believe, at the end of the day, they believe they can make money.
Yeah.
There's no easy way of getting around it. They're free agents now. And now that they're signed, they intend to make money.
Yeah. Yes.
Marion's Brandeis tattoo. Well, even someone said, was it a real tattoo? Or was it, trying to
Who
get
knows?
certified, he would kill Jake Paul. Well, I'll tell you who won't kill Jake Paul, and that's that. Who's the Mexican dude who I
Julio
mentioned?
Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, Junior. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Julio
sadly,
Steve.
I
This
sadly
is.
believe Jake Paul would knock him out.
Oh man. And didn't he say that if that's going to happen, he's going to retire?
Who? Jake Paul?
Yeah, if he
I,
gets knocked out by
I,
Julio Caesar or something like that. I heard somebody's retired if somebody gets knocked out. I don't know,
well,
man.
okay. I thought Jake Paul said, and this is for Carl, because I know he adores Jake Paul
Yeah, because he's such a Jake Paul. I know
fan.
he's got that picture
So
hanging on the ceiling above his bed. So when he goes to sleep at night, and lays on his back, he gets to look into his pretty eyes.
because
Because
Jake Paul is a handsome. He's a handsome
Jake Paul
man
Jake Paul is Carl's favorite boxer, man, favorite boxer in the whole world, right,
for
Carl?
sure. And having fought no boxers whatsoever, I thought that was Jake Paul's whole thing, was that he said, "Hey man, I'm going after these MMA guys, but again, they're not boxers." So you know, I don't know who I'd pick. I mean, I guess Tommy Fury's next in line for Jake Paul. That'd be a shame. That'd be a shame. I'm sure there are other more qualified boxers that you and I both like to see go toe to toe against Jake Paul. But the first real boxer that Jake Paul faces is going to knock him out. In the meantime, though, Jake Paul is going to
Unless
continue.
Jake Paul does enough of these things to actually gain some sort of skill. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly,
I'll tell
I
you
don't
this
I don't
though.
I
I
don't
think
I don't think he's much of a boxer, but he does look better and better every time he gets in the ring. I don't know. It's weird. What I do like about what I okay. I'm not a fan of his boxing at all. I don't believe he's a boxer. He had no amateur career. He's never logged really any hours. He's doing this because of his brother. What I give him props for is that he's taken a woman like Amanda Serrano and he's finally made her a millionaire, made her
right,
worth what she's worth. And I congratulate him for that, taking Amanda Serrano and making her a millionaire and putting the money that woman deserves in her pocket, man. Congratulations for that, Jake Paul. For that, I give you respect. You won't get any other respect from me you won't get any other respect out of me until I see him step in the ring with a real boxer. And then
correct,
that's when I will give him the respect. But other than that, no.
correct. And we're all looking forward to that moment.
Oh, me too, man. I
You know,
just want to see him get knocked out. That's it.
and,
That's
and
that's that's it.
I would like to see to your point several shows ago about the actual production. Like I'd rather see a boxing show as opposed to a concert, intermittent, with the occasional bout thrown in between.
Yes.
Um,
And you know what? Jake Paul wanted to get away from that crap too, and that's how he's put that deal together with it Showtime, right? So
yeah, yeah. So good for him. As a business, I mean, I don't like him ranting and raving either. I don't like guys who rant and rave for the cameras,
He's
regardless.
he's the he's the king he's the king of the trolls, man. That's what
Without a
he
doubt,
is,
without a
without a
doubt.
doubt. In this generation today, this whole YouTube sensation generation, he's built his entire career, his following, his 20 million followers, his $20 million. He's built it all off of trolling stupid people on the internet, and having these people and having these people literally fall for this crap. You know what? It's your fault if you let him suck you in, man. and that's what happens. He's good at he's good at play. He's a really good chess player. His mental game is great. He knows how
Yeah.
to get in there, and he knows how to get under your skin and get you thinking about him. He knows how to get people talking about him. And you know what? In this day and age, man, any press is good press.
No, and this is why I hope that he takes it one step further and goes down the Amanda Serrano road one step beyond that. Let's see who he signs next. Let's see who picks up next. And because he knows how to play that game very well. And so if he's serious about not only his own boxing career, which we're not, but I mean, if he is, then he needs to fight a real boxer. That's one thing. But then his MVP company, needs to pick up someone else or several other people, and he needs to be able to compete, because I'm sure he hires, like he does. He is quite proud of the fact that he hires real trainers, and real therapists, real doctors, who make sure that he's in tip-top shape for his fights. Okay, and he is.
Yeah.
He seems to be in pretty tip-top shape. And quite frankly, he did deliver one hell of a knockout punch, I gotta admit.
Yes.
I mean, you rarely see guys go face first into the canvas, but
Right.
he did it. So
Yes.
he's trained well. Now, anyway, so my point is that there's the boxer side of him, but then there's the uh, shall we say, the corporate side of him, and he knows how to
Yeah.
manipulate those 20 million viewers. And he's done a great job of bringing, let's say, 20% of those guys. If he's bringing 4 million people over to watch boxing, then let's see a good boxing match. And I think he can do it if he brings in more people like Amanda Serrano, and he begins to build a really decent roster. I think that's where he can make an impact. And that's what I'm saying about Terence Crawford too. What's he done with
Hmm.
his millions? Has he just spent it frivolously on racing cars and nice houses and women and whatever? Let's see if he puts his money where his mouth is. That's my point.
Yes. I'm looking at the comments here, man, and it's really funny. Uncle Phil here in Last Bell Boxing, Carl. Uh, Carl reminds us Bob Arum was a lawyer before promoter. Uncle Phil does chime in here saying Arum did legal work for JFK. Crawford in big trouble, man. May get countersued after this. This is this the that's
Well,
another thing.
that would be a defamation situation. The problem
Yeah.
is Aram has said these things in public,
Yeah,
which
but
could.
you know what? He's 90, man. Or we all get a little senile.
All I'm saying is it could be easily proven that he is racist.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So I don't think he's going to lose.
No.
But I think he'll fight this tooth and nail. I don't think he's going to settle out of court. I don't think he's that kind of guy. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in the sport of boxing, would he? He's not going to leave it in the hands of the judges. Uh, Bellew, yeah, Bellew, yeah. So what of you, Mike? Uh,
I love you, Carl. You're great, brother. You're great. Oh,
so anyway,
well,
so there you go. We
yeah,
chatted about pretty well nothing. Uh,
yeah, yeah. But it was
but
great. It was great. I
had a
had
great
fun
time
chatting about
chatting.
nothing. I know our fans around the world definitely watching us today. Love us chatting about nothing, man. I want to give a shout out to to the fans that dropped all the comments, man. Thank you, Uncle Phil, for all your kind words and comments. Carl, you know what it is, man. Much respect and love from your from your friends and fans here at Talk and Fight.
Yeah,
And yeah, Graham, what would you like to say? Any last words?
I'm gonna do a quick little Google search of this Richard Schaefer that was mentioned earlier, because
Oh yes, Richard Schaefer
are
is
you
a
familiar with him?
Swiss professional boxing promoter. He was a
Oh,
former CEO of Golden Boy Promotions, which he left in 2014.
ah, okay,
In
okay, okay.
2016, he founded his own boxing promotional company, Ringstar Sports.
Mm,
Ringstar, yes,
mm.
Richard Schaefer.
So I think Pro Bellum is the mover and shaker to watch, because not only are they signing great boxers to the roster, but they're doing very strategic deals on a global level. So I mean, you and I discussed this a year ago. We could take a camera. If it wasn't for COVID, we could take a camera crew to name 10 countries in the world where
Yeah,
there are no camera crews, and
yeah,
there's lots of opportunity to live stream events and make tons of money. And I think that's what Pro Bellum has in mind. They can't sign every single boxer that's available in the world, but they can do deals with other managers and other promoters, set up fights, broadcast those fights, not only locally, but stream them internationally and make a ton of money. And I think that Richard Shaffer cat is pretty smart
Yes.
because, that's what I'm saying. I believe the Terence Crawford guys like that should do with their money.
Carl just brought up a great point, man.
But
Serrano Taylor underway, biggest purse ever.
really,
Biggest purse ever. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
I see. I'm reading Servant. I see what he's saying. Serrano versus Taylor, biggest purse ever. Biggest purse for the women, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so.
Do you know how big it is?
No, I haven't heard any yet. This is. I knew it was going to be a big one. I knew it was going to set records. I don't know what the purse is at yet. Carl, do you know what the purse is? If you know what it is, please drop it in the comments for us.
Because
Or I can,
there's a super good example of Jake Paul managing Amanda Serrano and Eddie Hearn managing Katie Taylor. So to the up and rising management talents out there going head to head and putting their,
that's
their
it.
best on the line. Paul linking him up with Hearn for Serrano. Oh, that's just what I said. Yeah, it's going to be massive. Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm saying there should be more of that.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
I mean, yeah, we'll unclog the heavyweight division. That's what we started talking about, and then I want to see more of these women go at it. I mean, as a matter of fact, hey, why don't we tell our fans out there who you've got lined up for some? You've got some great interviews lined up.
Yes, fans around the world, please hit me up on Wednesday where I will be interviewing Hannah Bagley live in the studio. Followed up by this Friday, none other than champion Hannah Rankin will be joining me in the studio for a one-on-one interview on Female Friday. So, guys, hit up talkinfight.com. Go hit the subscribe button, scroll down, set the reminders. You're not going to want to miss these live events. It's going to be great. Lots of fun. You'll be able to drop your comments in the live chat and ask these ladies anything, man. So make sure, come on by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss that. Hannah Bagley Wednesday, Hannah Rankin Friday. You know what it is. I'm bringing you. I bring you the best, man. I bring you the best I can. These young, hungry, undefeated, undiscovered amateurs who've just turned pro, and champions, man. That's what we do here. That's what we do here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun week. The women are always very colorful and creative and fun to talk to. I got to admit, the British boxing scene is fun to watch. It's entertaining.
Definitely.
From the Tyson Furies over here to the women, and there's a variety of them over here. And I hope you get more women like Avril Matthew.
Yeah.
Boxing fans,
Don't worry.
That's my challenge to Mike Orr to get Avril Matthew on the show.
Hey man, hey, as long as she can take enough time from sunning on that beach, maybe we can get her in the studio, all right?
Or Shannon Courtney.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait until we have the ability to get some of these boxers flying in for some interviews, man. Because I got something for you guys. In the future, I'm hoping that we can tattoo a boxer for free while we do an interview. Because I'm setting it up, man. I've set it up. I've already got a tattooist and a shop here in Toronto. Any fighter that wants to come on my show, man, get interviewed, get yourself a free tattoo while you're being interviewed, I can set that up, man. I can
That's
set
pretty
that up.
cool.
We
That's a
have
great
that
idea.
ability. Yes, it
That's a
is a great idea. Shout out to Psych Inc. at Punk Ass Piercings in Toronto. That's who I will be working with when we do this, man. And under these tattoos, you can get some real serious answers out of people.
I know Punk Ass. Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yes, yes. So definitely, I've been working with that. Hopefully, someday in the future, when these borders are opened up and we can, finally fly around without any damn problems.
Mm.
Yeah, man, we'll have the ability to have these interviews in our studio while we tattoo your ass.
I'll leave with this comment. I saw a great little what are they? Because it's pumped. They someone on they did I don't know who the channel was who did this, but it was on shown on YouTube, and it came up in someone's comments. So I had to look at it, and basically in a nutshell, There was a fellow who owns a shoe store somewhere in Manhattan, and he basically said, Zab Judah's all washed up, and Zab Judah can't fight because of his concussion. And anyway, these two guys said, okay, they was literally strolling down Fifth Avenue or whatever, and they say, come on, let's go in there with our camera and shake this guy up. So these two, I'm talking pretty big guys, walk into the store and says, yeah, is John Smith here? Oh, that'd be me. And didn't you make some comments online about Zab Judah? Yeah, yeah, that guy's washed up, man, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing you know, Judah actually walks in, and this is all on camera, and Zab Judah saying, what'd you say about me? What'd you say? Let's take this outside right now, right now. Let's go outside. Let's go right now.
Zab Judah's a bad man, yo.
And you see this little guy going, oh.
Yo, listen, you can't talk shit about Zab Judah because yes, he will walk up on you while you're like in the grocery store holding your baby. You know what I mean? Like Zab Judah will roll up on you in the grocery store while you're standing in line holding your newborn, and you know what? He's gonna have some words with you. So be careful what you say about that man. If history has told us right, and all these documentaries that we've watched, he's got ties to that BMF man. They got a big series on right now, and he's got ties to the Black Mafia family. So
awesome.
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt.
So I'm looking forward to the future where we can get boxers on the road, coming to Toronto, getting a tattoo while being interviewed by Knuckle Up. Neil the Deal has offered to hop in an RV and literally go gym by gym by gym by gym across North America, down through Mexico, interviewing people.
That's when we're going to start that new show called You Got a Box Here.
Oh, wow. Good one. Good one. For fans out there, there's a show out there called You Gotta Eat Here, and it's this fellow who goes around the restaurants and he just
Catucci.
Do you know him perchance?
No, but it's Adam Catucci.
Yeah, he's not as good as Guy Fieri, but it's a good little show. But that's a great idea. You got a box here.
You got a box here.
Anyway, there we go. Let's wrap her up there, Mike, and say goodnight to our fans.
To all the fans, thanks for tuning in. To all the fans that dropped us comments, you know what? Thank you for the love and support, man. If it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't be here doing this. But we got to go get to work and watch these fights, so you don't have to. And we will see you tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, I don't know, but Sunday, make sure you tune in, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the Knockout of the Week. You're not going to want to miss it. It's always a good one. That's why we do it. Yes, all the fans, you know what it is. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, new topics. Myself and Graham. Hopefully we'll get joined by Cedric Ben. He was a little busy tonight. We missed him, but you know what it is. Guys, much love and respect. Remember, talkinfight.com. Hit that subscribe, man, and set those reminders. And don't forget, next week, man, Wednesday, Hannah Bagley. Friday, Hannah Rankin. We'll see you then.
It's going to be awesome.